So, for those of you that don't know, it's Friday. On Monday, the windlass on the boat, which is the piece of machinery that draws the anchor up out of the ground, it automatically winches the chain up, pulls the anchor up so that you don't have to do it by hand. Well, that broke. Coming through when I'm down here at Stanley Key. The waves were so rough, it was bouncing the front of the boat. It broke my anchor bridle loose from the chain. So the chain had tightened up on the windlass and broke the gear inside of it. I didn't know that at the time, so I took the windlass off and I went into town. I found a mechanic shop and had them basically provide tools for me to take it apart. So I disassembled it, found out that the main gear, housing gear inside that cranks the shaft that pulls the chain was broke. It was cracked down the center. The teeth were messed up in it, and that's what locked it up. Well, I had the old one at home, so I asked them, well, what do I need to do to get the other one in here? And they said, I told them, I said, I got one at home. My wife can send it to where it needs to go. They said, oh, well, have it sent down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and they can put it on the plane for here, and they can fly it over here. Here's the address, this is where you need to send it to. It's okay. So I called Wanda and I tell her, get the old one. She did. Take it to UPS, have it shipped down here to Fort Lauderdale. She did. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, Saturday. So I go back to the shop today and I tell the guy that windlass is going to be in the airport on Saturday. And I don't know if they're going to try and fly it over here Saturday or whether they'll wait until Monday, but it should be there by then. So then he proceeds to tell me, oh, well, have you checked with to clear it with customs, through customs and immigration, and you needed to bring your travel papers and do all this stuff to get it clear. So I'm like, okay, where do I need to go to do that? And he's told me, he said, just, go around the corner here. So I went around the corner to where I thought I needed to go, and I talked to a lady in there, and she said, oh yeah, I can help you. You need to call this number, and she wrote the number down for me. You have to do the click to clear website. So I called the number. I talked to a lady with the airline, and she sends me an email telling me what I need to do, along with providing her with a credit card and another form, a hanging form I had to fill out. So I do all of this. Get on the computer. The click to clear will not go through. It keeps asking questions. I would fill in the blanks, and then it would tell me something else was wrong. After about 2 hours of doing this and not being able to get it to go through, I'm like, well, I'm going to go to the airport over here, and maybe I can find somebody that can help me fill the paperwork out and get it to go through. So I get in the dinghy, and I ride back over there a second time, which is about a mile away. The wind has been blowing for the last 3 days, 20 to 25 knots. It's rough as hell out here. The boat's rocking constantly. We're going to have some 35 to 40 mile an hour winds Saturday night. So everybody is bunched in to this little channel way in here to try and get away from the wind. So I go in and I go to the airport. I have to walk about not 3 miles, a mile and a half to get to the airport. I get in there and I tell the lady, I'm having trouble filling this form out to get this part shipped. She says, oh, I can't do that. You have to do that back at the clubhouse, the Staniel Key Club Resort. So I'm like, my back is about to kill me. And she said, oh, well, I'll call and get somebody to come pick you up. So she did. She called this lady. The lady come up there on the golf cart, picked me up, took me back down there. I tell her what I need. She said, oh, I can take you in here. These people can help you. So I go in there. They ain't never done it before. They don't know what I am talking about. So they're like, well, let's call customs and see what they tell us. So I get my computer out and I start going through trying to figure out, fill in the same format again. It still will not take it. And so then the woman, calls customs. I stay on the phone forever. Within, the woman puts me on hold and hangs up on me. We try to call her back and it just rings and rings and rings, and nobody with customs and immigrations in Bahama will answer the phone. So finally, after standing there about 5 minutes on the line with it just ringing and nobody won't answer anything, I hang up and she says, well, let's try this. So then she calls this girl back with the airline. And she says, she puts me on the phone with her and she says, well, send me all your documentation, your passport, your photo ID, the forms that you need to fill out, like the form to use the credit card, the form to fill out about what it is I'm having shipped over to me. So I filled all this stuff out. I have sent her pictures of it, sent her 5 forms, and she says, well, I'll try and get it filled out for you, and I'll let you know. I'll send you an email when it's completed. I said, okay, thank you. Finally, I got something done. I get in the dinghy, I come back to the boat. Well, I had borrowed somebody's Wi-Fi to try and do it on the boat so I'd have computer service. So I took that back to them. And of course, they're on the beach over here with some other people. So one guy asked me, if I got everything situated about doing the shipping on the windlass. And I start telling him what I've been going through. And all of a sudden, this other sailor decides to proceed to tell me, oh, well, you should have just talked to a pilot and got him to pick it up for you at the airport and just brought it on over here. You could skip all of that stuff. And I'm like, how the hell does that work? What, you bypass customs? You got to bring it through customs? You don't think they're going to check to see what might be on the plane? I mean, if that literally worked, then you could be hauling drugs over here every day, every flight. Nobody would know any different. That was so much load of crap that and that somebody would try and tell me. It's just unbelievable what people think of to say. They don't know they don't know their butthole from a hole in the damn ground. So then I come back to my boat and I see that some of the boats that were behind me real close have moved back out. And so I will see the one guy, he's over talking to another guy, some guy from Canada. So I go over to the Canadian boat and start talking to the guy and tell him, I saw him moved his boat and the wind's coming strong, what's going to happen. So he says, well, did you get your windlass set up to get mailed over here? And I said, yeah. I said I had to jump through hoops to do it, but hopefully everything's squared away. And it will be, sent over here once it gets to Florida. Well, now the Canadian on the boat well, you need to tell them how they need to do this. You need to tell them this is what they need to do. And I'm like, I ain't telling them a damn thing. I'm not calling to talk. It's done. They're supposed to be taken care of. I ain't calling them back to tell them, hey, you need to change this form. Because the guy from Canada told me I need to change this form. I'm like, I ain't changing shit. So, well, I'm just trying to tell you, another damn sailor, after the fact that everything's been done, it wants to try and tell you, hey, you need to do something. Where were you at when I was trying to do it, going through the process, and 4 hours later, I still hadn't been able to get the form out? Where were you at? Why didn't you come over here and help me fill the form out? So it would go on. Now you're going to tell me what I need to do and fill in the form out, how I need to fill it out? Like, go back to Canada where you came from, okay? So hopefully it's done and taken care of, and hopefully it will be here about Monday or Tuesday of next week. I can get the windows put on, getting my way on down to Georgetown to meet Wanda. And I think I have pretty much decided now I have done what I wanted to do. I came down here, I sailed to Bahamas. I'm done with it. I am so fed up right now. The wind blows 20 and 30 miles an hour when you're at anchor. When you are sailing, you got 5 knots of wind. It's not enough to even fill the damn sail up to blow the boat down the rake. You got to run the motor in order to get somewhere because there ain't no wind blowing. But when you're sitting on anchor, it blows constantly, non-stop. It's been blowing for the last 2 days, and it's going to blow for 3 more days. And it's going to be 37 to 40 miles an hour come Saturday night. So now I'm worried about the boat swinging around and where it's going to go to. You know, if my anchor is going to drag, if it's going to break loose, if I'm going to run into another boat, you know, or a boat's going to run into me. Who knows? I am so done with this. I am ready to get back to North Carolina. I'm going to sell this boat in June, back to North Carolina. I'm going to get me a broker, put the boat up for sale, and I'm selling this darn boat. This has been it's been an adventure, and it's also been the most stressful, tiring time of my life. And I'm ready to get back to a normal life. I want to get back to where my feet are on the ground, where when I cut on the light switch, I know it's going to work because I got power, and I don't have to worry about a generator running or making water so I can take a shower or anything else. I want to know what I can deal with my house and what's going on. This boat is not my house. It's never going to be my house. There's too much crap going wrong all the time. The solar panels ain't enough to charge the batteries, which another thing the asshole who sold me the boat lied about. I'm just ready to have this adventure over with in June, get this boat to North Carolina, get me a broker, get it sold, and then I'm going to sell my house in where I live at now. Wanda and I are going to move somewhere else. We're going to go to the mountains and live where I can get out and enjoy hunting and fishing and be on the ground and know what to expect and when to expect it. So that's my beef for today. Sailing life, you can have it.